Hello and welcome to my brand new channel. My name is Che, and if you'd like to learn how to do this look, then please keep watching. This look can be created by total beginners and it's really easy and simple. It takes about 1 hour. The best way to learn from this video is by writing notes while watching it or doing your makeup along the way and keep pausing the video. I'm going to be recommending lots of products and brushes, so make sure you write things down. So first of all, to do my brows, I'm going to be using the YSL Couture Brow Gel. Mine is in shade 4, which is the darkest shade you can get. This brow gel is so good. If you watch my eyebrow hairs, it actually looks like you've either tinted them or actually filled them in as you're brushing through them. So you just want to do that really lightly, and I brush all my hairs upwards. So can you see the difference? Obviously I know it's messy at the moment, but it won't be afterwards. Okay, so now I'm using my Anastasia Beverly Hills pomade in shade Ebony. Right, this is what people struggle a lot with. So I'm using a MAC angled brush. So it is 266. So you want to make sure it's really thin and pointy. Okay, so I'm literally gonna dip the tiniest bit into the pomade on both sides. Like so. Okay, so I always start underneath and I literally just carve out the shape I want. So I want to do one nice swoop, but it's not easy to do that, so I just do really small going along. I'll show you how. So I start about here because I don't want to start right at the start of the brow because it will build up too much product. So I'll start about here. Nice short strokes. Might bring it down a tiny bit because my brows are so outgrown at the moment. We want to try and cover that as much as we can. So I'm probably gonna bring my arch down slightly because I have lots of hair growth. I'm trying to grow my brows out while we're in quarantine. I've been putting castor oil on them every day. Hopefully make them nice and thick and strong. And I do like to extend the tail of my brow out slightly because I have quite short brows. And I'm quite liking the fluffy eyebrow look at the moment, so I'm literally using minimal product, quick tap, and I'm pushing the eyebrow hairs up like so, all the way along. Any product left, just drag it into the middle. You don't want much product here, and push it upwards really lightly. Right, so for more shape, I'm gonna over arch my brow slightly here. You could do exactly the same as the other brow. Start about here with your small straight brush strokes. And then pushing the eyebrow hairs upwards in really small strokes, nice and lightly. So this one, I feel like I've drawn too much. So I'll literally get a bud and push over the top of the brow. And carve it out easily. Push the front brow hairs upwards. No filling in. We don't want block square brows. And I'm just going to give them a brush through the spoolie. Okay, for more definition, I'm going to be using the Urban Decay Brow Box. This is in Brunette Betty. So it comes with 2 shades and a gel at the bottom. Mine's really disgusting, sorry. And I'm basically doing just to clear up here. It's almost like the product has dried up slightly, or my face might be slightly oily than usual. But it's not clinging to my skin properly, so that's why I'm using this over the top. It's nice to use this as well. It's almost like sets the brow. So just small hair stroke motions. So can you see the difference this one compared to that brow? It just seems more defined. Obviously they're not going to look 10 out of 10 because the hair growth underneath is just atrocious. Just keep going back in with your cotton bud. These are so good to have at hand when you're doing your eyebrows. So can you see how I put more pressure on the end of the brow, and I literally just do really small and quick strokes blending into the middle with no product on the brush except for what I've used on the end. I don't add the product and add it to the start of the brow. I do that to keep that really natural at the front there. Really annoying because my eyebrow hairs at the start are so much stronger than this side at the start, so I really have to like manipulate it. Manipulate it, what a big word. Really got to push those brow hairs up without trying to coat them too much. If your brows are not looking 10 out of 10 right now, don't worry about it because we're about to carve them out anyway. I'm carving out my brows with the P. Louise Rumour Base in shade 2. And to do this, again, I'm using a really flat brush. So again, going with your baby wipe and just pull it up and flatten it as flat as you can before you use it. So it's literally like that. This brush is the MAC 252 brush. So if you don't have the P. Louise base, you can use any concealer. Anything full coverage, nice and tacky, but I definitely recommend this because some concealers aren't tacky enough, some of them don't set properly. This is just everything. I think it is only £10 for the small little ones like this. You just want that amount there. So how I apply it is I literally get the brush and I pat it, pat the other side, like this. So your brush is still thin and both sides are coated. Okay, so all you have to do at first is literally, I pat on the product onto my eyelid just to get a feel for the brush and the product. And you need it on your eyelid anyway, so. Okay, so I always start at the front and I do really light swooping motion. It's even better if you have a worktop to like rest your elbow on, just so you're not trying to hover and you don't jog. It's just really nice and lightly swooping motions. And you can bring this to the top of the nose anyway, in the middle. You can do it underneath the brow at first, in case you think I don't want to get too close at first. And then drag it down. And then go for the end of the brow, nice light swoop motion, but obviously go with the shape of the brow. So now it's rounding it off nice and gently towards the end of the brow and swoop right past the brow. Voila, you've carved out your brow. So it will then look like this. So then I go in with more product and I pat all over, and you literally keep patting until it's set into place. Be really careful not to get your brow, because I have done that a million times and it's very annoying. Okay, so that seems pretty set to me. Obviously you can see my eyebrow hairs coming through. And then I get a little fluffy brush like this. I think this was actually an Urban Decay brush coming in one of their palettes. Blend out all the edges. Or you can just pat it into place. Now I'm going to do the other side. Thing I do is I want to put pigment or highlighter in the middle corner here and on my brow bone. So you can use any highlighter. I'm going to use this Topshop Chameleon highlighter. Looks like this. I love this at the moment because it's like a peachy, shimmery, nice, really nice colour. It shines really nice in the light. You can actually add this with any small brush. I'm just using, I don't actually know what brush this is, I've had it for years, but I do really like it for this. It's just really small, round, short hairs, picks up the right amount of pigment. It's a little bit fluffy. So just buffing that in where you'd like it, where you want that natural highlight. Okay, so I do understand a lot of people do struggle with eyeshadow and blending it and getting it looking professional, but it is so easy. I'm going to show you a really simple way of how to do it. This isn't really the normal way of applying eyeshadow, this is my way. I find it so much easier to blend out, get that bold colour, so I'm going to be showing you how. The two palettes I'm going to be using for this is the P. Louise Secret Sinner palette, and also the Huda Beauty Desert Dust palette. I'd say these are my two favourite palettes. Definitely choose them myself, but I use them on a lot of clients as well. I'm going to be going in with the Molly O'Brien M08 brush. It looks like this, and it's quite a firm bristles, and it's slightly fluffy on the end, but it keeps the eyeshadow where you like it. First, I'm going to be going in with Obsession, which is this colour here. This palette is really pigmented. You always want to tap off your excess. You don't want lots of fallout. So first of all, you're literally going to pat it into the corner of your eye and around. So I'm going in with quite a deep colour first. No dragging, literally just patting into my crease. Literally patting as I'm moving. No dragging, not yet. We're not doing any blending just yet. Just patting motion in that semicircle. Don't bring it too close, just leave a little gap there. Okay, so first of all, it's going to look like this, and you're going to be thinking, what the hell? It's going to look lovely, don't you worry. Slightly bigger and fluffier brush from Molly O'Brien. It's called the Eyebrow brush in M07. And I'm going to buff this out with, okay, so I'm going to be buffing it out. I'm going to be using Amber and Blazing. I'm going to dip into both like so. And I'm going to do 50% of my brush on the colour and 50% off in very small circular motions. Really light hand. You see how much is blending already? You need such a light hand. Small circular motions, back and forth. So I'm going to add a tiny bit more of this Blazing colour because I want more of an orange, warm give off from this. I don't want it too brown, I want it more warm because I know these colours suit my eyes better. Makes my eyes pop, and I'm just keeping it in a round motion. A lot of makeup artists are doing the blown out look at the moment. I'm loving that, but this is a beginner's video. I want you to do a nice rounded eye first before we go on to blown out. I can always do another video for that. So can you see how they're starting to blend compared to that one? This one's all blended out. So try and go nice and high. My final colour, I'm going to be using this Revolution really big, really fluffy brush. I'm going to be using shade Eden. It's like a fleshy peachy colour. And I'm literally just going to be buffing this right into my brow bone. 50% on, 50% off. Really light swooping motion there. So we don't want to do too big circular motions because you don't want to go right into your brows. I'm literally just buffing that back and forth, back and forth. Okay, so now I want to make that more deep again. I want to go back into my deep colour. So this is when people, they think, right, it looks fine, I'm done. You need to keep blending and adding colour. So back in with my first colour, Obsession, which is a deeper, darker, rusty browny orange. And then patting it back in again. Going in again with the next brush. This time I don't think I'm going to add any product, I'm just going to keep blending. I feel like there's enough product on my eyelid at the moment. Nice small circular motions. So can you see there's quite a nice build up here of a darker colour compared to the front? That's really good. Okay, so I'm just going to do my other eye now. Okay, so I think I'm happy with that at the moment. Nice and blended. Okay, so I did lie. I'm going to be using one more palette because I need one colour from it. It's called the Violet Voss Pro palette. This is the Ride or Die palette. I'm going to be using shade Stephanie, which is this really nice coppery brown colour right here. This is my go-to going out look. To be honest, I don't do much else on myself when I'm going out, only because on a Saturday I'm doing people's makeup all day long and I'm normally just rushing out afterwards, so I always go for a copyright and it suits me. It's nice and easy, which is the reason I'm doing this video for you guys. Well, I thought my palette was going to fall off. I'm going to be using a slightly flatter but fluffy brush. This is the Molly O'Brien Jade M014 brush. I'm going to be spraying it with a bit of setting spray. This is a Morphe Continuous Setting Mist. You can use any setting spray, it's absolutely fine. I'm going to be using little spritz on the brush like that, and I'm literally just going to be dabbing that on. Don't swirl it around your pan, literally dab it on and it will look like this, one side. And I'm literally just going to pat that back onto my lid. So basically what you're doing now is you're patting it straight onto your lid, right in the centre, and you're stopping where your crease is. So halfway up, and you're just patting it down. I'm going to bring it slightly in, right towards the middle of my eye. And try and make it nice and rounded. It's not a cut crease, I want it to be more gentler than a cut crease. And then I'm just bringing it over to that darker bit in the corner. Can you see all those specks on my eye here? This is the reason why I do eyes first. So once I'm finished, there's loads of mess on my cheeks, wipe it all straight off. A lot of people ask me, why are you doing eyes first? How do you work around your brows? I'll show you how, but that is the reason. If I was to do all my face first, that would be sat on there and I'd be fuming. And straight away again to the other side. Pat, 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 right in the centre. Stop where your crease is and pat in motion forwards and backwards. Okay, so you could either leave it there, or what I'm going to be doing today is adding a pigment on top. So this is the easiest way to apply pigment. It'll be nice and natural, blend it in with the colours that I've already got on there. So this is Peaches and Cream Bollywood. It's like gold, more of a yellowy gold tone, I'd say. And if you want to start doing your own makeup for going out, this is something I'd definitely invest in, because obviously the eyeshadow looks really cute and nice, but this is more of the wow factor. I'm going to use exactly the same brush, but the other side I haven't used. I'm going to spray it again. It's been a bit of a while since I just sprayed. 2 little sprays, that's all you need, don't coat it. Okay, so got my pigment and you're literally just going to touch it like so. And then you're going to be doing exactly the same. So can you see that already? How much sparklier that is, but it will blend with those colours so nicely. Like so. And we're going to bring that slightly higher here, just so it blends nicely. And then just pat when you're done. So that was using 1 pat in the pigment, and already what a difference that has made. 1 pat, tiny bit on there. Try and start at the top so that any fall down will go onto the lid. And you're just patting it all over again. Don't go too far along, just leave that dark bit in the corner. In the corner, I'm just going to add a tiny bit more of the darker tone to blend into that darker corner. Just here, going backwards and forwards. And then with this darkest tone we started with, the Obsession, I'm going to pat that into the corner just to deepen that further. Literally so gently. Make sure you pat and you don't glide backwards and forward. With the most fluffiest brush with no extra product on it, I'm just going to literally run around the edges just to make sure everything is nice and blended. The best thing to do with this is you need to trust the process. It will look really bad at first, and one day you think I need to wipe it off and start again, but just keep working with it and building up in small layers. I'm literally just going to wipe any excess off from underneath with a clean makeup wipe. And just remember that anything that rubs off can always be put back on, so if you rub too much off at here, it's absolutely fine. Go all the way along on a nice straight line here. So now you need a tiny bit more of this on your hand, and you're going back in with the same brush you used to carve out your brows and pat on your eyelids. And you're literally just going to pat this underneath to create a nice base for your under eyeshadow. So where I've just rubbed a tiny bit of that off, I'll just add it back in. Some here. Urban Decay fluffy brush, I'm just buffing that into my skin. I'm going to go back in with the darkest shade I started with on my eyes, Obsession. I'm going to be using a really small angled brush here. This is a Morphe M222 brush. Literally just going to complement the eyes underneath. Do exactly the same that we did on top underneath. So we're starting with the darkest. Now we're going to be using a fluffy brush, and I'm going to go in with the second colours I used and mix together, which was Amber and Blazing from this one. I'm going to add this on because I think you lot can do this. It's really simple. With my same little brush that I did my glitter with, I'm going to add a tiny bit onto the inner corner just for the extra glam. If you don't want this, you don't have to, but I'm gonna. Right in the middle there, just for extra sparkle. If you want that even more pigmented, then add some glitter primer. I recommend the NYX glitter primer, but I just want mine quite subtle and pretty. Also going to go back in with my little highlighter that I highlighted my brow bones and inner corners with, and just add that back in because I did accidentally take that off on this side. But as I said, you can literally just go back in, dab it on, and we're back. Okay, so that's your eyeshadow complete. And also just remember, if it doesn't look completely perfect, your lashes are going to make it blend even more anyway. I always put a small line of black eyeshadow or liner just along my lash line. This will make your eyelashes look so much better once they're on. So I'm going to be using the black colour called Carly, I think it's called, it's been rubbed off, and a really small flat brush like this. It's not as flat as a brow brush or eyeliner, but it's just like a little smudger brush. And I'm literally just going to be buffing that back and forth I'm gonna have it nice and smudgy. It doesn't have to be neat. Sometimes use eyeliner for this, but I think the easiest one is eyeshadow, because otherwise you're not just getting it everywhere and getting stressed out. Literally just buffing it on, placing it on top of my lash line. There we go. Nice and easy peasy. Now's the time if you want to add any eyeliner. I sometimes put black in my waterline or white, but today I'm just going to leave it. Now's your time to go in with some mascara. I'm using the Soap and Glory Thick and Fast mascara. I love this, literally my all-time favourite. So if you get any on your eyeshadow or your skin, please let it dry first before you try and wipe it off. Every girl needs a fan in their makeup box. Best thing ever. With a little cotton bud, you're literally just gonna go in and get rid of any mascara you've got anywhere else. That little bit there, nice and light, so you don't want to rub off your eyeshadow. And just little light rubs. So today I'm going to be wearing the TL3 Tatty Lashes. These are my favourite ones because I've got really small eyes and they make me look bigger, more open, dramatic. But you can use any lashes you'd like, but I highly recommend Tatty Lashes because their bands are so strong. I wear mine over and over again. They are amazing. So a lot of people make the mistake of not cutting down their eyelashes to their own eye length. So literally all you want to do is place it on top with no glue on it and measure up how much you've got to take off. So I know I've got quite small eyes, so I'll need to take off quite a lot of mine. So give them a nice bend like that, just to bend the band, and they'll go on your eyes so much easier. I'm just gonna see if they're the right length again. Okay, that's so much better. Using the Duo Glue in clear, I think this colour is. Love this glue. You just do this and leave them to set for a little while, just so they go nice and tacky. Look at my eyelashes on now. This is a tool that helps anyone that struggles to put their eyelashes on. It is called an eyelash applicator, and it has that curved bit in the middle. Yeah, so you literally just, I don't really use it that much, but I'm going to use it just to show you guys how easy it is. So right in the middle of the eyelash, and you can place them on. If you need to tweak the ends, you literally just get the edge and push it back down. Here we go. So place them on top. Do it nice and slow, there's no rush. So look, I have already gone in with my hand, because that's what I'm used to doing. Once they're on, all you need to do is basically, once they're dry obviously, I normally push them down to see if they're all stuck correctly down the lash line. And then just pinch them together. I normally have issues with my lower lashes sticking because they're so long. You see here, they normally stick up with the lashes, but perfect, all done. Okay, so if you would rather apply with your hands, this side I'm going to because it's more natural for me. This side, just lay on top again. I feel like putting your lashes on is always going to be stressful, you know. Put your favourite song on or something that makes you happy, because I always normally put my favourite song on. But obviously I'm not playing music today. Okay, so these are the lashes on. Obviously they're not going to be for everyone, but I do like them when I'm going out. They're not my everyday go-to. Sorry, when are my eyes watering? You don't want it to water. And that you can see, this one's all stuck down fine. Okay, we're still going. Next is skin, we're nearly there. Okay, we're now gonna do skin. Skincare is such a big step in doing makeup. I don't think people realise that for nice makeup you must have good skincare beforehand. So I'm gonna use some L'Oreal Paris Fine Flowers Milk all over my face, obviously except for the eyes. Go around your eye area where you've just done makeup. Also again with the L'Oreal Paris Fine Flowers Toner. So I'm going to be going in with 2 primers because my skin's been so dry lately. So the primers I'm using today is the Hydra Touch Primer. This is by NYX. It's really hydrating. I've got really dry skin on my forehead and around my nose at the moment because I burnt my face last week. And then I'm also going to be going in with the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Primer. I'm going to be going in with a hydrating one first. Small bit on your hand. And I'm going to be using this on the places I know have been dry first, just to prioritise, so it can be settling in. And the Pro Filter, I'm just going to be using that over the top just for an extra boost. I'm just going to rub this into my hands and go all over. And don't forget to do your neck. Now the primer is set into place, I'm going to be using the Pro Conceal LA Girl Concealer in Green to cover all redness on my face. So anywhere I've got red blemishes from spots, scarring. I don't think I'm going to get rid of my rosy cheeks today, just because I'm going for a more natural glowy look. I'm going to be blending this in with a nice damp Big Beauty blender, and I'm just literally patting it on top. Don't move it around, patting it on top, blending it in. Obviously you don't want it completely gone, it's just there to cancel out the redness. I'm going to be going in with my Iconic London Illuminating Drops in shade Original. And I'm literally going to put a tiny bit of this on the highest point of my face. I'm not going to put it on my nose because sometimes it makes my nose look bigger. So I ain't doing that. And with a nice, clean, fluffy brush, you're just going to buff it in. So it's nice and natural. Doesn't matter if it goes on the cheeks. So only add this if you want a really nice natural glow underneath your foundation. If you're going for more of a matte look, then don't add it in. Last time for foundation, I'm going to be using the NARS foundation in All Day Luminous Weightless Foundation in shade Barcelona, which is medium 4. I understand this is quite a pricey foundation, but it is really well worth it, just for a nice lightweight but full coverage foundation. I'm going to put a few squirts onto my hand. I'm going to pat this onto my skin with the Money O'Brien P brush MO15, one of my favourite brushes ever created. And as you can see, a little goes a long way. That's like one pat. So you're literally doing a nice patting motion. Okay, so when you're patting this on, you don't really need to put much underneath your eyes because you're going to conceal underneath your eyes. So you can leave that bit there for now. As you can see, I've got a gap underneath. And this is how you work around your brows. So I'm just going to add a bit more before I show you. So you want to make sure that's nicely blended into your hairline. And then with the Urban Decay buffing brush we used earlier, we're going to brush that in around the eyes. Oh, got a little hair there. And around the eyebrows. So you're literally just going to buff that back and forth. Sorry, my hair does my head in. The other side as well. If you've got too much product like I have, literally just wipe it off and buff it into your hand and then keep buffing. Okay, so don't forget to do your neck. And then you just brush all in the nooks and crannies, so around your nostrils, on your nose, down here, other nostril. Now I'm going to be going in with concealer. I'm going to be using the Revolution Conceal and Define in shade C5. Don't over conceal. Literally nice swoop here, a nice swoop there. I can't bear it when people put too much concealer on and then the face goes white. So just keep it nice and sweet and simple. And you're just going to blend that in with your beauty blender. Going back and forward in patting motion. See how far that little bit of concealer has gone already. And then you're going to be going in with the buffing brush again. And just buffing that in, making it nice and smooth. Don't worry about the eyebrows for now. We're going to go back over them right at the end. So now I'm going to be using exactly the same concealer in shade C13. I'm going to be putting a little bit of this on my hand We're using a nice flat brush. This is a Morphe brush in S94. I'm going to pat this and then buff it out and then apply it to my skin where I'd like it, just to give some more definition. Like, it's like a liquid bronzer basically, but we're literally just patting it, we're not moving it around, otherwise your foundation could go muddy and that is not what we want. Now I'm going to contour my nose with the same last bit I have on my hand. That is using the Morphe M209 brush. Don't want this too dark, I'm just going to go really lightly. Going in with this Studio Fix powder by MAC in shade NC25. So I'm just going to go over the lighter concealer I applied to my face with this just to set it. I'm using a Morphe brush that has not got the number on it anymore, so it's just angled like this. You just dab in, tapping off and going over the concealer I put on earlier just to set that into place. If you're looking for a really nice flawless finish, I highly recommend this. I think it's about £25 in MAC, but I'm sure you can get cheaper ones in the high street. I know NYX do one that's supposed to be really good as well. Bronzer. This is matte bronzer by NYX, and it is in deep tan. I'm going in with a fluffier angled brush here. This is Morphe M104. Nice little swoop and off any excess. And you're just caressing the bone. I haven't got a cheekbone, but any bone you've got there, just creating a nice defined shape. You can either do a nice swooping rounded or more of a straight shape. That depends on your face shape, to be honest, but whatever one you prefer. So you're doing some on the forehead. If you have quite a big forehead, it helps to do more bronzer on your forehead to make it look smaller. So now I'm going to be going in with some blush. This is a NYX blush in Caroline. I like more of a peachy tone blush instead of pink, but that's totally up to you. And now I'm going to be using a Molly O'Brien B brush in M013. I literally want to do a fake smile and dab this on the apples of your cheeks. Now I'm going to be going in with my favourite highlighter, which is a Dull Beauty Duo, and I'm going to be using shade Supernova because it's the darker shade there, with a Real Techniques brush. Don't know what this is called, but it's this one. Just going to be lightly buffing this onto the highest point of my cheekbone, so you can find where that is with the lighting and buff that in. You don't want a blocked highlight, that will look really fake. Find the light and buff that in. Slightly down, slightly around the eyebrow. On the cupid's bow, tiny bit on the chin there, tiny bit along where your bridge of your nose would be. On the end if you like, but sometimes that makes my nose a bit bigger. And a tiny bit just above the brow bone there, on top of your brows. I'm also going to be adding that Topshop highlighter I used earlier, just patting that onto my blush there, blending that in. I'll be going back in with my bronzer and using a bigger and fluffier brush, the Real Techniques brush, and it's called Blush Brush actually. All around my face to make sure everything's nicely blended. All my facial powder is done, I'm going to be going back in with the eyebrow gel I used earlier. as you can see, some of the face powders have dropped onto my brows. I'm going to be using some lip liners. This is Peaches and Cream in shade Hotline and Peaches and Cream in shade Borderline. I'm going to be doing the darkest one first. When you're lining your lips, use a nice light sweeping motion. Now I'm going to be using the lighter shade and just blending that in. So for lip gloss, I'm going to be using a nude without a shimmer in it because my eyes are quite shimmery. I'm going to be going in with the Peaches and Cream lip gloss in shade Bambi. And to apply this, I'm going to be using a lip brush. This is a Morphe brush in M124. Make sure it's nice and flat and clean. And you're picking up the product from the end of the lip gloss. Before we totally finish, I'm going to set my face with some setting spray. I'm going to be using the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist to set my face, and hopefully this will last ages, except I'm not doing anything because I'm in isolation. Just a bit of fun, isn't it? So hold it back from yourself and spray it all over your face. Plan face. I am really liking this setting mist at the moment. I used to be obsessed with Urban Decay All Nighter, but this is doing it for me at the moment. Thank you for watching. This is the finished look. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and even better, subscribe. It really helped me out. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next video.